today there was a large emphasis on the importance of giving a proper teaching in the proper order. Rinpoche went over the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truths according to Panchen Sonandrapa's general meaning of perfection. 64. 464. 464. 5. Working at the aims is twofold. 64. Dunshin Mempa. Then Kabir Nge Ragian. Natsu the Natsu ngapa tsar Chishina the Yanjer tree. The data and Jishina the Natsu ngapa leson Dain Sunsan the Jipja Drew sum Detsire Dene Gutsu Chunsun ngapa.
Yeah, okay.
Ngapa data. Okay. So just to let everybody know where we are in English, we're going to begin on page 227. Letter V, number 5, a somewhat elaborate explanation. So that's where we'll begin. And again, I apologize for having to leave early today. It just no choice. Okay. Rinpoche. Okay, so when we look at Buddha's teachings, we are able to condense them. And if we were to condense them, the way that we would do so is by breaking them down into 3 specific categories. And these are called the stages of the path for beings of 3 capacities. So the first capacity is for beings who wish to achieve the state of higher realm existence in their next lives. So this is called the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity, and one practices the ethics, which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities and goes for refuge to the 3 jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. In dependence upon these practices, one is born into the higher realms of rebirth in one's future lives, in next life, or in next lives, just in the future. The next category are teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. These are for beings who wish to achieve nirvana for themselves alone, an individual liberation. So the way that this practitioner achieves this is by depending or relying on the 3 highest higher trainings, the highest higher training in ethics, concentration, and wisdom. And in dependence upon these trainings and practices, one is able to achieve liberation. And then finally, the teachings for beings of great capacity are those teachings which lead to complete Buddhahood. So those practices require one to generate the mind that aspires to enlightenment, or bodhicitta, and then once this bodhicitta has arisen in his or her continuum, then he or she practices the 6 perfections, the perfection of generosity, ethics, patience, effort, concentration, and wisdom. Diksan.
Raju meje pashin choda, yenju meje diju ngobo je. 지금 너네 어디 전주 미지 뒤지 거버지 돼 말에 뒤지 거버지 다 젠바지 해봐 마와 전셔바 전투바지도 어디 뒤지 거 보스 어디 말와 뒤지 거 보. 대체발라 지르미 사지 뒤지 거 당부지 제자부지 생이바지 뒤지 실에 송바지 코드베 달라 땡고바 지바르바 다 중세 지바지바 나바 임바레 사정나바 다 동보 뒤지 원 쇼스나 다든 너무 심바지 해봐 마와 전쇼던투 어디지데 도와제
Bless you.
그 참바이나 하는 제일 최시바이나 제 가부용 거 여러분다 제바는 하지 하파시지 거기서 시바던 달라 해봐 마와는 되잖아 파시나 전바우스 전바우 전쇼바네 제다된비 된데 되나라 되자 쉐도 요방 아다발레도 조바우스 전쇼바스 다드네 랑리아 사도 줘봐. 나도 줘봐. 전투바네 수 yen 랑린 줘. 나 랑게 나서래 받을래. 전투바스. 전투바네 더나 yen라 야와테 랑야 네네 더나 tum바 로바테 수송도 자샤방가 도도 yen라 송자스 도도 yen래 Jinson te donne l'anjou dans, Jinson te donne Jimbaché, te donne l'anjou dans, te donne un jeu d'un tunier de l'imbalé.
Bless you.
Dernier Jésus, Dieu n'a pas, Heba Madan, un jeu dans un tunier de l'imbalé. Chez os, what about the Kali Jujana?
Okay. Then Ngatsu Ngama the Jursung, Yene the Yanjer tearing?
Ore,
Ngatsu Ngapa les.
okay.
Okay. Then Jupodro. Dixon.
Okay.
Kangisene the Parche, the Kanga Yere.
Yeah.
Ngapa lepson.
Yeah.
The Shugude.
Yeah.
Jipja Druchi Drusung.
Raison.
Ngapa.
Abaroa. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yene the Jupung, the Ewa Yapudu,
Oh,
Pentodu. Okay, so when when we look at the text where we are specifically, and we look at it in terms of the outline, we've arrived at training in the 4 ways to gather disciples that help others to mature. So in that section, there are 5 different categories. What the 4 ways to gather disciples are, the reasons they are stipulated as 4, their functions, the need for those who gather a following to rely on them, and a somewhat elaborate explanation. So we've actually arrived at that elaborate explanation. But then what are the 4 ways to gather disciples? Actually, what are they? And here they're divided into 4 categories. And Rinpoche just wanted to reread this about, this major, what the major heading is defined as, and what qualifies it as such. So it says, generosity is as early explained in the section on this perfection. So when we go to the section in the text on the 6 perfections, which is right before this, obviously, and go specifically to generosity, then that's how we should practice, what we should practice, etc. So to not be repetitive, J. Rinpoche just says, just look back to the section on generosity, and the information is all there. Pleasant speech is teaching the perfections to the disciples, so teaching the actual teachings that go take one to the other side, meaning from imperfect to perfection. So those teachings. Teaching those things. Working at the aims is setting disciples to work on aims that they have been taught, or involving them in correctly taking these aims. Giving a specific, almost a diagram for the proper way, the steps necessary, inclusions, exclusions, and so forth in order to achieve certain goals. So correctly laying those things out properly. And then the fourth is that consistency of one's own behavior. So working at aims is setting disciples to work on the aims as they have been taught or involving them in correctly taking up these aims. Consistency of behavior is stabilizing yourself in these very aims in which you have established others and then training in them. So not being, as last week I think I used the word hypocritical. If one is saying to practice a certain way, then one should be doing that. If one is saying to modify one should modify his or her behavior, then the person saying that should be modifying their behavior. Then where does this come from? This comes from Lord Maitreya's ornament for the Mahayana Sutras, and it states that generosity is the same as before, teaching the perfections, involving... so here this is... showing in the ornament for Mahayana Sutras these four ways. So generosity is the first, is the same as before. Teaching the perfections, that's number 2. Involving others in taking them up, number 3. And involving yourself is number 4. And then it says are asserted to be pleasant speech, working at the aims, consistency of behavior, respectively. So these are just pointing out these where these 4 come from, where these points come from. Digsong Rinpoche. Dene. Digsong.
Jide Sudan, Debi Hemadan, Niro, Tanjidin Sudan to be Hemad Gandaja Gosina, then it is Trenyameji, Yen, Dan Siwa, Zomba Hodu, Nande, Kandawala Suba, Jide Suji, Sejanam, Gashiba was Jidan Sudu, Heba Mawade, and also Chabi Nansanda, and the Geshe Lharampa, what the twins are it. God Sheba Wu. Yantabi, Chu Tembadan, Demi Heba Mawane, Tibetan Buddhism, Tibetan, Tuatan Shiro Jeba Su Le Zane, Pembadan Di Shedo, Sejela Chu Tembatala, and then Chudon to be Heba Mas. Takade, Sejel Chu Tembate, or the Chudon to be Heba Mas, Jagures, Ransubi Dala. Chenmo Senji, Pembi Tijobatan, Ombishinto, Duala, Ichimeba, Ichiba Meba, Chuadan do, Chuadan do Lane, Genji Tanjin. God did the was. Takan the church in the Kalija waters, something said Kalijan, church waters. Tandalan, Tanjin, go on into Juba dance. Jen Ujujan, Kenlu Sula, Flushing, Loju Sheba, Shedamebas, Pembi, Tijubi, Hebama. Chishindo Kawana Layan, Loba dance, Takenlo, the Goji Kanama, or the Sulea, Nebama, to go good as one day said. Yan Loba dan, Jumamiba, la, Deba Bombadan, Jumamiba la, Deba Bombadan, Dundu Chivi Shadow. Harudo, Shayu, Chujimbadan, Chudinje, Tanjibadans, Jenju Miba, Tibetan Trashin, Senya, Yadawadan Dembala, Yanda Puji, Chipabi Demba Jidemba, Papi Demba Jidembas, or the little was on the Zaro, Jenju Miba Shiba. Tantric, Yenju Miba, Yenju maybe, Tibet Trashin, Senya Nyadua, Nebala, Yada Puji, Chupabi Najitan Wars, Nebajitan Badan, Chimbadan Radu, Shua, Ba Memba, Na Bayuvala, Gubishir, Guadan, Tadon Shua Na, Sei Shado, Chu Chejin, Bedan Shibane, Hemba Ma Goes, or the Galej, you know.
Okay. The reason they are stipulated as 4. Question: why are the ways of gathering disciples set as 4? Reply: in order to gather a following of disciples for the sake of establishing... I'm sorry. I'm supposed to start at 5. I apologize. I just was being robotic. Rinpoche, because we ended... Rinpoche just wanted to go over that first one. We're beginning at 5. A somewhat elaborate explanation. There are 2 types of pleasant speech. That's better. The first pleasant speech associated with worldly customs means that you first assume a clear expression free of anger, give a smile, and then please living beings in worldly ways, such as inquiring after their health, etc. The second type, pleasant speech associated with presenting the perfect teaching, means that you instruct living beings in the teaching for their benefit and happiness, beginning with the teachings on developing faith, ethical discipline, study, generosity, and wisdom. The avenues of pleasant speech are as follows. To an enemy who would kill you, you say helpful words without a fault in your heart. With the dull-witted, you willingly rise to the challenge, tirelessly giving talks on the teaching and causing them to adhere to virtue. To devious beings who deceive their masters, abbots, etc., and engage in wrongdoing, you speak pleasantly with helpful words and without anger, teaching even the most difficult persons, in order that persons whose minds have not matured may eliminate obscuration and be reborn in the happy realms. You give discourses to them on preliminary practices, generosity, and ethical discipline. To persons whose minds have matured, who are rid of obscuration and possessed of a joyful frame of mind, you reveal the foremost and perfect teaching of the Four Noble Truths. You encourage householders and renunciate who are careless to be conscientious, and to those who have doubts, you speak elaborately and explain the teaching to them to dispel their doubts. So there's not a lot of commentary. There were a couple of things, so just give me a moment. I want to look through it and see which ones they were. So here we see pleasant speech being explained again as presenting the actual teachings of the perfections. They're teaching the actual perfections themselves. It says associated with presenting the perfect teaching means that you instruct living beings in the teaching for their benefit. Pleasant speech associated with presenting the perfect teachings. So the perfect presenting the perfect teachings is referring to the perfection teaching, the teaching on the perfections. So those teachings which teach one how to go to the other side. That's what pleasant speech is referring to. There's no commentary given. Okay, ngayon sa prediction, the double mambo.
Nyeba ma de ne.
Mambo yo mari.
Deje tön ba de nyeba ma so doa. Chödon tümi nyeba ma. Da neba je de so san de donga papi de ba, de ngunju papi de ba, de ngu ba papi de ba, de lan papi de ba wos. Kulu dom. Shajamun bo da go kulu dom do neba je. Neba je so ro. Deje ngolan de ba, shebalan de ba. Shawan de ba chebalan de ba. Deji ngolan deba den donga papi denba, den kunyo papi denba, den nguba papi denba, den lan papi denba was deji ngolan deba. Tene Shebalan deba de, Dungan Shebasha, Kunju Puasha, Gobangot, Langombashas, Shebalan deba.
Shiva Nyamlin.
Shebalan
Nyamlin,
deba.
Dandrar.
Or the W.
Okay. Dene?
Shebalan deba. Shawan deba, the Shebalan deba de Dungan Shebasha, the Shebashame, Kunju Puasha, the Puashame, Gobangot Shatungo the Shame, Langombasha, the Gund Shames. Deba Gungo, the Yena, Deba to be Deba Gunjo Mares. What does one thing?
Rinpoche, the Ngamang Thomas on the Sumba, the NGK, the Ming Yabuzugo, the Puik Gare, Dundagare, Sumba.
Then don't have them one, then you probably them one, then go up.
Shame, Mepa, the Mepa.
Don't have Shibasha, could you want and go on the Sha? No, Gonza, don't have Shibasha. You want and go on the Sha. Gombasha Samarba.
Doing your Sheba Shame, the Mingare, the Je.
Talk on the Demaji, you are the Dematu with Demaji Mares, Shiju Mares.
You know, Ewa Sum, Ngo, Nyalan.
Molan Deba, Shebalan Deba, Shawan Deba.
Shower, the in shower.
If you marbe, if you.
Action.
Yeah.
Action. Ale, shower action. Shower lay drop do it.
Double it.
Okay.
Lugile, Nagile, easily or the lauder.
Luigi shower.
Lugishaw, Nagishaw.
Ale. Okay, two chena. Anjagu. So okay. So here we see the Four Noble Truths presented. It says, to persons whose minds have matured, who are rid of obscuration and possessed of a joyful frame of mind. So one is brought to that joyful frame of mind by pleasant speech. By utilizing the pleasant speech, then this encourages one to practice and want to work towards certain aims. So once one gets to a joyful place where he or she is receptive and is happy to hear what you have to say. I guess that would be the best way to translate it. Once one is happy to hear what you have to say, then at that point, then it says, you reveal the foremost and perfect teaching of the Four Noble Truths. So what does that mean? So the Four Noble Truths were the first teaching. The first teaching given by Buddha Shakyamuni in Varanasi in India. And this was the first turning of the wheel of Dharma of the Four Noble Truths. And the Buddha taught these Four Noble Truths in three different ways. The Buddha taught them according to their nature, or their actuality. The Buddha taught them according to how they are practiced, or the sequence of practice. And then the Buddha taught them in terms of the word that is literally it's translated as action. That's what Rinpoche and I were just talking about. A lot of times I've seen it translated differently because it has to do with the ultimate nature of the truths, but it's just translated, I guess, as action. So we can look into why that is. I'm not sure. But the fourth category is action. So the first category of nature, the Buddha stated the following. This is the superior truth of suffering. This is the superior truth of origin. This is the superior truth of cessation. And this is the superior truth of path. So this was really the definition, if you will, at a gross level of those Four Noble Truths. Then the Buddha, in the second way, stated them in terms of practice. So the Buddha stated that suffering is to be understood, origin is to be abandoned, cessation is to be achieved, and path is to be relied upon or practiced. So this is the second category, which is the in terms of practice. The third category, as we said, is in terms of action or actual identity, I would say. And this is, the Buddha stated, that there is no suffering to understand. There is no origin to abandon. There is no cessation to achieve. And there is no path to rely upon. So this is the Buddha's third statement that's translated literally as action, and statement of action. And that is everything that he said in terms of those categories of nature, practice, and action at the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. I mean, there's more commentary, but I mean, that was, in terms of these three categories, that fulfills those. Digsun. Lessa. Judru, Lessa.
Tene kunjung nabaje de jo kunjung raji chen jeje. Tene goden nabaje de goba shewa chanu ngenjung nabaje je. Laden nabaje de lang riba ruba ngenjing nabas.
Lesso. So then another way to explain the Four Noble Truths is according to their aspects. So we have the 16 sometimes aspects or attributes of the Four Noble Truths. So each of the Four Noble Truths has four attributes, if you will. So the first, the truth of sufferings, has the following four. The first is impermanence, the second suffering, the third selflessness, and the fourth is emptiness. So these are the four aspects of true sufferings. The four aspects of true origins are cause, origin, strong production, and condition. So these are the four aspects of the second noble truth, the truth of origin. Then the four aspects of the third noble truth, true cessations, are cessation, pacification, auspicious highness, and definite emergence. These are the four attributes of the third noble truth, the truth of cessation. And then the fourth noble truth, the truth of path, true paths have four attributes as well. The four are as follows: path, suitability, achievement, and deliverance. So these are the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truths, broken down into the four categories of four in relation to each among these Four Noble Truths. Digsung Rinpoche. Less so? The Yanjusuna? Less so?
Jusen kares na sanji ke mataba song wares. Jusen tin sare. Denji mata churu de sanji ke song wares. Wade pali yong lo wade song do sare. Ta dene ta nga chu wade nale ta kheba chuge de nyele ju phom saji nyale phom de ne mataba res mataba yide sanji ke song beje. Sanjay Sumba Jusen Karasana, Ringa Jayes, Ringa Koko Majiba Yinzang, Matabares.
Reka Jason, Reka.
Koko Majiba Yinzang, Ringa Jawas, Takande Mataba Yimbesh Gogore. Mataba Yimbesh, Ringa Jawa Yimbesh,
Ringa
Jawa Yimbesh, Mataba Yimba Lon Sumba Maze, Ribe Dua de. Ringa jiwa yinbeye go majo imbesh.
Renka the donda? Renka?
Renga sin go majo badala.
Gop.
Jibadala renga jelo.
Arises. Okay, arises. Okay, Digsun.
얘네 공부 주지. 맞다봐 얘들 상지가 맞다봐 송배지.
Okay.
상지가 송데
The Kali Kali, Gangasin, the Dasidang, Injikezu, the Kali Kali, the Chuchen, the Sache Nerlen Pombo,
사실
Sache
얘네 공부 주지. 그러다 아주
subject, okay.
아주 공부 주지라고 그러.
Sawa Gare, Chuchen, the Sawa,
맞다봐 얘들.
Mitapa,
맞다봐 얘들. renga 지예셔. 그거 마저 임베지.
produced occasionally. Okay, so in the Jawagare, Ale, the Dungyal Demba Je, the Rinpoche Garshane, the Jawagare, Natsu Sache Nerlin Japumbo, then the Denji Judru,
동안 담바 chen 쇼스나 사진 영화는 보지 않는데로.
okay.
그 너지 그걸 동안 담바로 사진 영화는 보면 줘야지. 레도 녀모 좀 보면 돼. 만다바레스.
Okay,
만다바
decent.
상지가 송배해서. 상지가 송바 맞에 네, 그 만다바 이미 주생 요아레스. 제가 지예서. 어디 나는다 개발 조딩사래.
So when we look at these various aspects of the Four Noble Truths, we see the first true sufferings, and we see impermanence, suffering, selflessness, emptiness. So there's impermanence. What does this mean? Impermanence is referring to the momentary nature, things that are not static, things that are produced occasionally. Then if we were to say, what is posit the truth of suffering, you could say, or posit true sufferings, you could say the contaminated appropriated aggregates. So these contaminated aggregates that are forced on us. This would be an example of true sufferings. Why are they true sufferings? You could say because Dugyal Demba Yinde Mitapa Yimbichir Nyomare.
동안 담바 얘들
Mitapa.
레뉴 지정화 임베스. 레뉴 지정화 임베스. 레도 녀모베. 지정화 제에서 동행화레스.
Oh, so then they say why is this? Okay, Tuchena, Hagutsusa. So why is this true sufferings? Because it is that which is brought about from karma and the afflictions. So this is when we say, so you would say the subject, the contaminated, forced, the subject, the appropriated aggregates are true sufferings because they are brought about from karma and the afflictions. So that's how the syllogism would work in terms of the subject, the appropriated contaminated aggregates are true sufferings because they are brought about, or they are brought into being through karma and the afflictions. So then they would say, so if it is brought about by karma and afflictions, it is necessarily true sufferings? And you would say, yes. So then that would, the person debating you would say, oh, so if it's that, are you sure? And then you say, yes. And then that would close the book unless you're wrong. And then a whole mess would start if you're wrong. And they'd start making fun of you a lot. Lots of people would come. That's great. So that's how we would look at a syllogism in terms of the true sufferings. And then So true sufferings are impermanent. Why are they impermanent? Because they are being produced occasionally. Renke chibeche the parshin shitten the yure na injike zusa. The parshin the denji mita judru the shitten mitapa dungyawa da mepa dan the jutsen kanga nga yure rinpoche. Then chan triguna the jutsen the judru kanga yure. Okay, the yabudu. Okay, so we're going to be looking right now at something specific. Rinpoche is going to turn to, for right now, Panchen Sunandrapa's general meaning of perfection, the specific section on the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truths. I translated it before a while ago, so the course outline of it. So we're going to just go through that. So let me just get a drink here. Okay, so the subject, true suffering. So that's what we begin with, because that's the first of the four categories of the Four Noble Truths. So true sufferings has four attributes. The first among those four attributes is impermanence. So why are true sufferings impermanent? They're impermanent because of being produced occasionally. So this is the reason. So again, we're looking at it in terms of, as a translator's note, in terms of a syllogism. So the subject would be, so it goes subject, statement or thesis, and then reason. So that's how this syllogism works. So you'd have the subject, true sufferings, and then your thesis, your statement is that they are impermanent, and then your reason is because of being produced occasionally. So this is how the entire syllogism would work. So then the person, as a translator's note, debating you, so you'd be answering, it is because of being produced occasionally. Then the person debating would say, oh, so if it's produced occasionally, it's necessarily impermanent? And you would say yes. So then that closes that. Digson. Tambo tsar. Mitapa yin. Renka. Visa lapsar. Lessa. So when we look at the subject, contaminated, appropriated aggregates, this means that this word appropriated really mean forced, and it means that we don't really have any control over if we're going to feel pleasant, things will be pleasant, or we feel sick or hurt. So this is the appropriated part, that we're forced into the position by our karma and afflictions into this. So our current aggregate could be sick, or current aggregate could be at peace, but we current aggregates could be. But we don't have really any independence in terms of what choice. We would always choose happy, so we don't have that independence. Digsung Rinpoche. We have no independence in terms of birth, aging, sickness, or death. So we say that this is because they were brought about by karma and afflictions. What would a scientist say? So scientists, we're looking for the answer to that. Why the Senipa Triwagare? So the question for science is, we don't seem to have any way or any independence or control over our birth, our aging, our sicknesses that we have, and when we're going to die. Why don't we have any control over that? Why is there no independence? So this is something to think about. So science, why don't we have any independence? Why can't we control any of that? Dixon. The Dungyawa, okay, Mitapa Dungyawa Tuan. Okay, Tuche. The Damepa?
Da te shugul he ngoro.
Okay, to Tambo Tuan. Okay.
Tuan yin te zang yi da tuan yin shi tuan ye shi.
Seldu.
Tuan yin te zang yi da tuan yin shi tuan ye shi. Zang yi da raja tubi da. Ne wo de rang yi da wo de ni yue ma ro. Me ba yin zang te tuan ye shi. Te song din shi.
Rawan da.
Kanza ge da tu ba. Da tu bi tuan shi shi din shi.
Okay. So then the next is emptiness. So the subject, truth sufferings, are emptiness because it is empty of a pure self that is different, so that is other. So pure self meaning an inherently existent self that is other than, that exists separately. That's an identity of the entity. So this is the number 4, because it's empty of a pure self that is other.
Asa jinyang pambu chi da meba yin te rang yi da ngo ma ru be chi. Rang yi da kanza ge da tu ba din sa ma ru ba. Rang yi da ngo ma ru ba zang yi da tuan shi tuan cha ba ka do.
The under
zang yi da tuan shi tuan da rang yi da ngo ma ru ba sa kun ni cha ba ka do.
Rang da sang da Dunchik, that's good. Pure self. That's good.
Zang yi da tuan shi sa na pong le tuan shi bi. Pong le tuan shi bi. Ne da de la zang yi da tuan shi.
Sang da pombo yingu.
Pong le tuan shi bi.
Kansak yingu.
Pong le tuan shi bi. Rang yi da ge tuan de la zang yi da tuan shi tuan. Da me ba yi de rang yi da ngo ma ru bi. Da du bi. Da du ma ru ba. Da du ma ru ba din sa de.
Then the sang da kansak yingu.
Zang yi da tuan shi. Pong le tuan shi bi da. Pong de ngo ji bi da. Ni ja din ji ro da. Zang yi da tuan pong le tuan shi bi da ge tuan. Tuan.
Then they chapagare ganges the selpo nga selpo yomar gongel me pachi rimbache.
Da de
Da
pong de tuan shi bi da ge tuan de la tuan. Da de rang yi da ngo ma ru ba de la da me
da
ba.
mepa.
Da me ba.
Okay, the
What
seek
is
ni. Okay, then they the chapagare.
Ni de cha ban do lo cha chu mo la do.
Okay, so I'm having maybe just a slight difficulty with this next translation, but we'll see how it goes. So then the final is selflessness. So the subject, true sufferings, are selflessness because of not being established as an independent self. And then in parentheses, I have influenced by impermanent factors. So Rinpoche then is asking, what, if we look at the two, pure self and independent self, are there 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities? Are they synonymous or are they mutually exclusive? So that's where we got to, and I answered the question wrong. I said I think they could be synonymous. I'm not sure. So I guess I'm not clear on what the definition of these pure self and independent self are exactly. And then Rinpoche started to tell me, and I got confused. So that's where we left off, and I'm going to delve in a little bit further. Okay, then Rinpoche, the selp nge selpo lama song, the musamushi gewa dunchik, the let's go. Sign da dang.
Wrong da.
Rang da. Sign da show.
Nisha yu maro da. Nisha me bare.
Rang.
Pombul neje bi da yu maro. Pombul ngoji bi da yu maro. Pombul ngoji bi da de. Nisha me dro da.
Nietzsche me.
Musum me ja yu maro. Rabon ra da ma shabal musum me dia yu maro.
Then ni chapa
니셔 매버로다. 가자때 차란도 차.
Ale. Okay. Neither of these exists, so you can't. They're not. They're no possibilities because they don't exist. So you can't compare a rabbit with horns to a child of a barren woman, for instance, because neither exists. So you're comparing something that I see. That was so. That's why you use that, because you are then looking. There is no pure self. Why? There is no self that exists separately from the aggregates that are a collection that serve as a basis for designation. There is no independent self so neither of those are existent, so therefore you can't play the game of 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities, because they are non-existent entities. Okay, tene Dixon. Gonjung leso. Leso.
Jo kunjung raji chen shimarba.
Leso.
Jo kunjung raji chen che. De lojo de la dongen jume tunze ba che. Jo lojo de dongen jume tunze ba. Tene jo kunjung lojo de la juji kone shibanze ba. Kone shibanze ba. Juji kunang shibares. Juji mamu go marasa dero da. Ta wanshu suju lu yu wang hon donze ba. Shiraba tsuke la wanshu go zubar sagaro ta. Dongen de wanshu go zubares. Donju iji chiba jen donji bala suba ta. Jidenji nulu longshu na chuyo lu yu wang hon do tane. Lu yu wang hon do sonde kasa wada kud wanshu go zubares da kante. Wanshu lu yu wang hon do tane zubares. Wanshu suju lu yu wang hon do tane sheban zembas. Wanshu lu yu wang hon do tane sheban zembas kashi juyo sarwa. Dadne
Nga de sache le dang ducha chuchen.
Sache je le sana.
Dang ducha
Nga su
chuchen.
ju le tu ngalo le je le nga ge le je le tu sache je le ro. Same ge le yo marwa. Sache je le je siba sen do cha. Sache je le do siba ju.
Okay, tuchena. De le la gang isenang izusar.
Kale wade.
Sache le dang sipa chuchen. Ju yinde.
Ju na ba yinde. Randi
Sawa.
donga jeje yimbe je.
Jiji sawa dang ra.
Randi donga jeje yimbe je. Donga jeje ro wade. Pamal boje ro. Tena yin ne kunjung le donga jigo ro. Donga jeje yin sa ju na ba. Ju na ba yinde. Jeje yim jeje ju sen ro. Jeje ju sen. Donga de ba ju yinde jeje yimbe je. Wade go de sa.
Let's go.
Ju na ba yinde donga zo yim o shidun le donga zo yim be lo do.
Doing it sawa.
Ju na ba yinde donga zo yim be je.
Data yin. Nga de yure. Nga de dungyo. Sawa. Okay. There we go. Just don't want any of this to mess up more than it is. Okay, so the next we move on to true origins. So true origins have the 4 categories of cause, origin, strong production, and condition. So there are those religions that believe there's an external creator or a God that brings about our experience and brings us into being. But in Buddhism, we state that it is the contaminated actions and attachment that continues the process of cyclic existence for us. So this attachment that is there, if that, just as the translators note, one of the things that shows you will definitely take a rebirth into cyclic existence is that if there's attachment still within you, you will, 100%. So it's one of the things that is needed for a rebirth in cyclic existence to take place. There has to still be attachment. So contaminated actions and attachment bring about suffering. So in our tradition, we say it's karma and the afflictions that are the origin, that are the root of suffering. Are the origin of suffering, and at their root we have the grasping. But if we look at the actual divisions at their gross level, the truth of origin has two divisions: karma, that is origin, and the afflictions that are origin. So that is what brings about experience and so forth. Whereas, for instance, the Hindu tradition would say that Shiva or Shankarji created, depending on which, created the universe, created various things. So there is no external creator in this sense. So when we look at what the definition of cause is, according to Buddhism, it's producer. It's a producer. So according to Buddhism, the producer of this are, the producer of these experiences are the karma and the afflictions. So when we say true origins are a cause because of being the possessor of the root of suffering. True origins are a cause because they cause suffering. So the karma and the affliction, if they say posit true origins, you would say karma and afflictions. What do karma and afflictions do? Give rise to suffering, the First Noble Truth. So that is why the true origins are causes. You'd say causes are, literally it's true origins are cause. The category is cause. So why are they cause? Because of being the possessor of the root of suffering. Okay? Digsung, Gunjung lesson. Gunjung Gunjung.
Rande dunga yana yadu chi beje yana yadu chi yinzang kunjong sin bare.
Okay, so the next is the origin. So the subject true origins are origin because of producing all forms of suffering that are its results again and again. So this is why true origins are origin. Digsun.
Da saje le seba chu raji na ba yinde rande dunga tratu ji yin beje.
Less so.
Ni dunga la so ba to da ba yin bare.
Less so. So the next is the truth of origin is strong production because of cutting. That's cool. I can't read my writing. Just hold on one moment. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. The subject, the true origins, are strong production because suffering, its result, is produced with strong force. So that's number 3. Nene, Jan?
Da laji saje le de seba chu chen na ba yinde rande dunga ji lenji shi yin beje. Anga du nyugo jeba sadan chodon ludu zo lenji shi yin marba. Sabyon de nilen ro. Wadna yo wad dogen ge lenji shi yin zang chen na ba res.
So the final is condition. The subject, true origins are condition. Because it is a cooperative condition to suffering, its result. So what is cooperative condition? So for instance, if we look at a sprout, sprout has a direct cause, cooperative conditions, and so forth. So the direct cause of a sprout is a seed. But the cooperative conditions are the sunlight and the rain and the nutrients and the earth and so forth. So these are the cooperative conditions for the sprout to take place. Here, the true origins are cooperative conditions to suffering, their result. Digsun. Gar shene the gunjung nierlen yomare. Then a gar shene nierlen yomare gunjung.
Gunjung nierlen yo.
The gunjung jan. Lenji chechen. Garshini nierlen yomare.
Jensa lenji chechen gonde marda. Jensa lenji chechen go.
Ale. Then Dungyal the nierlen show?
Dungyal nierlen show is not Dungyal kama to zinjir.
Dungyal ngama? The Migewa ngama.
Maso pombo to ga Dungyaro.
Lesso.
Amal jebarota.
Lesso.
Amal dambu jemo de Dungyal pombo dambu dromro. Ti jut kar nierlen kar lenji chechen kar.
Lesso.
아마 보고 동부 지용으로 보고 동부 제도 보고들의 pombote 동해로 동해대 봐. 동해대기 니네도 가르다 동해대 봐.
Nierlen gare.
다 니네 쇼스나 파미 코차
Pama kocha.
비즈니스 말봐.
Kocha. Then the Dungyal Demba Nierlen show?
동해대 니네 쇼스나 동해대 니네 쇼스나 다 아멘겐 동부 제도 보고 pombo 줘로.
Lesso.
동해대 바로. 디 니네 쇼스나 페이지 코차가 차시진서 말이야.
Ale, okay.
코차가 차시지 동해 모르 로엔로. 저 체리버들 되고도.
Okay, so we were just talking about then cooperative conditions and direct causes. So then here it's saying because of, I asked, so here it's saying it's a condition because it's a cooperative condition to suffering, its result. And I asked why origin wasn't the direct cause, because it directly causes. And Rinpoche said that it'd be more specific than that. So if we looked at how a child is born, for instance, into the suffering aggregates and so forth, the direct cause of that are the parents' sperm and egg, actually, that are the seeds that create this into being. Rinpoche was saying, I think. But science, we would like to know what the direct cause of suffering is. Yeah, the true sufferings, what are the direct causes? What's the direct cause of true sufferings? And not in general, like an individual who's having a true sufferings, what is the direct cause of that? So I know each suffering would be different, but just in this case we're talking of true sufferings, and then posit what are true sufferings, and we're saying that true sufferings are the contaminated, appropriated aggregates. What would be the direct cause of that? Science. Okay, Digsung. Jansa. Lesso.
다 로조들라 타바 예멘 좀 타바 요 말레스 제바 담버제 사지 차바가지 타바 인스 타바나 셔르바 마조데 다 할지스나 타바레스 어떤 시에 말베다 어두 사지레더로 사지 차바가지 타반제 바스 다 녀모 차바가지 타반제 바스 녀모 차바가지 타반제 그 주에서로다 어쇼버도 그 녀모로 가서 그래 어디를 그 타바는 지쓰고서
Tarpa Nyanali Depa Tarpa
묘모지 잡아가지 타반세 봤어. 묘모 가지고 타바레스.
Ale
타반세 봐. 묘모 렌지 보면 하도 반세 봤어. 묘모 렌지 보나 야자 묘모 좀 그랬어. 어딘지 봐 디제들에도 와. 당고된 지나봐 제네스. 고바샤와 자누 나뉴 제송바네스. 레뉴 말레바 봉베 저와 주제. 레뉴 말레바 봉베 레드뉴 말레바 봉베 저와 주제.
Le they don't regard later.
레드뉴 모자로와. 레드뉴 말레바 모자 주로와.
Jawa. Okay.
저와 고된.
Jawa. Okay.
저와 주제.
Ale shitun. Ngayure. Okay, tuche.
어디 주제 고비 나바인데 동양 고비 임베셔.
Less so.
동양 고비 임베셔.
Less so.
대주시 나바인데 묘모시 저
네,
임베셔. 대주 자노베 나바인데 패디 모주베 저 임베셔. 다지 대주시 나종가 나바인데 동양 사람은 요이 저 임베셔. 다지 고고도 와.
Decent. Kangalo.
고된 타바요 말했어. 타바요 말해서 소나 다 타바 간에서 두고 타바요 말했어. 고된 요 말해서 넣어봐이나 타바요 매든지 봤어. 타바요 주생 가리요 알았어. 타바 간에서 두고 알았으나 대도 아마이 줄라 그수시 로스.
Tarpa yume why exists not. Tarpa yume garshene dene.
타바요 주생 그수스나
Tarpa yubi jutsen. Okay. Dene.
당가서 어디 신드 먹이 치소나 먹이 친 신드 매바래는 거. 대나지 다음에 두비 싫어금에 다음에 두비 싫어금에 다음에 두비 싫어금에 다질는 말봐. 다음에 두비 싫어비지 네 다질 너그러. 타바 좀 많이 마시비 주제질로 너그러. 대나지 네 촌나 대바마 로시블로 되게 다질 너그러. 다질 너도 다질 저보 레도 녀모발 너그래. 레도 녀모발 너도 뒤저보 동해 너도 말봐. 동해 매바 잡아들라 타바스. 동해 타바.
That's cool. Okay. So true cessations are the third. And then there are four categories. And Rinpoche, first, okay, cessation, pacification, auspicious highness, and definite emergence. So then Rinpoche just read straight through all of the syllogisms, so I'm going to do the same thing. So we're using a subject, a separation, which is a complete abandonment of action and afflictions. So this is a separation. This is what cessation here is referring to. So true cessations are a cessation because they are a separation from suffering. They are a cessation that separates one from suffering. So that's the first one. The second is the subject, a separation which is complete abandonment of actions and afflictions, are pacification because it is a separation that is a pacification of the afflictions. Number three, true cessations, number three, a separation which is a complete, the subject, a separation which is a complete abandonment of actions and afflictions are auspicious highness because they are characterized by benefit and happiness. A separation that is characterized by benefit and happiness. And then number four, we have definite emergence. So the subject of separation, which is a complete abandonment of action and afflictions, is definite emergence because it is free from suffering that will not occur again. a separation in which suffering will not arise again. I translated it two different ways. So this definite emergence, meaning that one is emerged from cyclic existence. It's definite because it won't occur again. Cyclic existence won't occur again. So this emergence is a state of cessation that is permanently like that in terms of the state of cessation. Dixon, Lam, Balam, Lam, Ripa, Drupa, Nge Jin.
Gobi naba yete dunga gobi goba yime dekan dosarwa.
Drotsar.
Ta lanji naba la jirwa. Lansa na ngasu langa dosa ngasu dosa de langa laudro.
Lessa.
Kaba lezun ko kamba ke langa rez laudro. Ta tene nyetu ke lang, raja ji lang, tiba chimbi lang. Tela tene raja ki shanchu, nyetu ki shanchu. Sanji tuwa yue zang, na lans wo laudro marwa. Lans. Lande ji naba la loju ne talang yeme de zebas tabi lang yue maris de ke jirwa damen tu bishira tabi lang maris de ke ji jir da sande chaban gaji talang zeba sande wo de shiri wo de macho sande taba yin lo de ro da talang zeba dunge denze shebi lang ma ban zeba dunge za ne bo lang yue maris ji nyebo ne lang jinaba lang riba druba ngeji naba jisung wares da dame ngosung tubi she chu jins dame ngosung tubi she de nyetu de ranje shanchu sembi wo tonglan ne yore tonglan ne ngosung tubi
the ngayure. Shanchu Samba.
Tonglan chu jen.
Lessa.
Lanji naba yinde taba dreba shibe lang yinbe.
Tapiju. Lessa.
Taba dreba shibe lang yinze lang res.
Lessa.
Te chu jen. Ribi naba yinde nyumabi nyebi lang yinbe shen eridat.
Lessa.
Nyebi lang yinbe shen. Te chu jen. Rubi naba yinde lanji nelu ngonsung tu tubi gwene shinji malubo druba yinbe shen.
Lessa.
Te chu jen. Nganjung naba yinde dungan tang nyumun tsawa ne seji ji lang yinbe shen. Wad dendo
Dixon.
yeah.
Okay. So true paths. True paths also have the four categories: path, suitability, achievement, and deliverance. So these are the four categories. And the subject that we will use are the Bodhisattva's realization of the direct perception of selflessness on the path of seeing. So that's going to be the subject we're going to use. So this word path, what is it referring to? It's when we say path to, it means the practices that one needs to do in order to arrive at a specific place. So for instance, if you take a road to get home, that's the road to your house. Like if it gets you there, so that would be called the road to your house. And the various vehicles have their own roads, if you will, or pathways. So for instance, the hearers have their pathway, the solitary realizers have their pathways, and then the bodhisattvas have their pathways. So there are many different choices of that you can pick, because there are many different results that can be achieved. But in the case of the Bodhisattva path, this is the path that leads to Buddhahood, and not a path that leads to some kind of bliss in cyclic existence. Many non-Buddhists have mistakenly thought that their concentration level, like their when they achieved a pliancy or of mind and body, that this was actually liberation because of the bliss and so forth. But unfortunately, they were mistaken. They were still within cyclic existence and had not been liberated, even though they felt so good. So it's important to know what each thing really is, so that you can gauge whether or not it really happened. Many non-Buddhists make the mistake of thinking that they have achieved something they haven't, because of the just as a translator's note, I'll put it simply, because the mind has so much potential and is so vast, you can take it to so many different places, and you can expand it and even make it clairvoyant. But even if you were to achieve all of those things, that still isn't liberation. And it's been, people have mistaken it for liberation over the years. And there's a lot of writings you can find. And in the Buddhist tradition, we say that they were form or formless realm practices. Geshe Rinpoche.
That and Dambajin Gilamangis, Dambajit and Geware, Gigare, Maris Tibaina. Tea two years. Don't let about the Kunu Dabani, Muslim machine go out and she carries.
Oh, did
don't let about the Kunu Dabani Muslim is.
Ngay Mambo Jason, Gongam Pepeche Rinpoche. The Chichen Sawa Dakanga Lako. So then we look at these four, the path, suitability, achievement, and deliverance. So we have the subject we're going to use now. Again, go back to the subject. The Bodhisattva's realization of the direct perception of selflessness on the path of seeing. So the subject, that subject is a path because it causes one to proceed to liberation. Then the next, the Bodhisattva's realization of the direct perception of selflessness on the path of seeing is suitability because of being an antidote to the afflictions. It is an achievement because the direct perception, the mode of subsistence, abiding of the path is non-mistakenly achieved. It is deliverance because it is a path that eradicates the roots of the afflictions and suffering. Okay, Dikson. Kanga dene ngenji ke moa yo mare.
Ta donga deba to kunju deba ni musu. Kunju deba ina donga deba yi chao. Donga deba ina kunju deba yi ma chaos.
Dungyao, Gunjung, Musum.
Kunju deba ina donga deba yi chao. Donga deba ina kunju deba yi ma chao. Showas na. Tene dusu jan digro wata.
Dungyao, Gunjung Machap.
Donga deba ina kunju deba yi ma chao showas na. Kui nöju. Tene kui nöju san digro. Kowa bat desa ke lomba yoro lomba. Lomba deba de donga deba ro. Kunju deba.
Gunjung Yomari. Ale, Sacha.
Sacha jana digro nyene pombo jana digro.
Okay, so then if we look at more subjects, we compare different truths among the Four Noble Truths. So what are the differences between the Four Noble Truths and how many permutations? So if we look at the truth of suffering and we look at the truth of origin, or the three possibilities, four possibilities, are they mutually exclusive or are they synonymous? So you would state they are three possibilities. Why are they three possibilities? Because if it is an origin of suffering, it is the truth of suffering. But if it is the truth of suffering, it isn't necessarily the origin of suffering. Show, if someone would say, well, posit that which is the truth of suffering, but not the origin of suffering, you could say the contaminated appropriated aggregates. You could say the place of suffering, like the truth of suffering is the place and its inhabitants. So you could say the place. So this would be a subject which pervades which. We can say that if it's a origin of suffering, it's a truth of suffering, but if it's a truth of suffering, it's not necessarily an origin of suffering, the contaminated appropriated aggregates. Something which is both the Nika Yimba Le. Sache Le. Something which is both contaminated action. Something which is neither rabbit with horns. Dene? Landen Goden?
Goden che, Landen che. Deba sombo gewares.
Lamden Goden. Gelwa. So true paths and true cessations, what are they? Are they 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities, mutually exclusive or synonymous? Mutually exclusive. They are mutually exclusive. There are no pervasions. No kangla kangi kyap. Bene?
That naba judo susu gelama ge jadu yede. Duden ye naba je gewa yin jes. Dunga dembi mata dunga tunga dame jidin gewa res. Gewa yin jes.
Dame je. You understand that?
Mata dunga tunga dame jidin gewa res. Yin de tade kan judu misi chu yin biya jes. Ta jo kunjun raji jen je. Uba shawa janu nganju je. Lang riba druba nganju je. Watu sukan gewa res.
Ale.
Jesen susuru. Kasa, deba, jena jesen susu, tuanchi bishiro, tuanchi bishir. Goba shaba janu wacha nga, tuanchi. Lang riba driba nganju je tuanchi. Tene, jukunju raji jen je tuanchi imbare.
Sopo la tu Marian Gongel me pachi ganja. The dunchi gari. The understand on gelwa gare. The dungyal demba, the mitapa dungyalwa, the gare gelwa.
Gela mageshe na ti tsuyu des. Dunga dembe kunju demba lo macha chance. Kunju demba dunga demba kunju demba ni musun res.
Less so.
Demba son bon geshe res. Ta kunju demba goden landen. Wa de son bon gewa res gewa. Gewa yin tadi kansh judu misi bichu yin biya.
So, origin and cessation are mutually exclusive in terms of pervasions, because there is no common locus, or neither pervades the either. There's no common locus. Just no common locus alone makes it so that it's mutually exclusive. And I think I missed a few things. Rinpoche's reading directly out of the General Meaning of Perfection, and right to where we are now is where I've translated to, so anything extra, few lines can take an hour to translate for me of this, just because it's very detailed, hard text, so I don't want to... Then Diksun, Shitun Diksun.
Yeah.
Ngatsu the Karma Judandar Yere.
Yeah. Okay,
so Rinpoche actually said then ka diksun, then terin ka, then trua dan le. Okay, diksun Rinpoche. Then the zanima jema ngatsu gutso yanja. Okay, so we're gonna actually have questions. Rinpoche wants to stop right there and have like a 10 minutes, how long I can do of questions. And then, yeah, I don't know what, and then yay. Oh, man. Share Sobeldu.
Thank you for teaching and translating. Could you just repeat why the Bodhisattva's realization is the achievement, the third, or the 15th attribute, please.
Achievement. Jipa. So the subject, the Bodhisattva's realization of the direct perception of selflessness on the path of seeing is an achievement because it is a direct perception of the mode of subsistence of the path. It is a direct perception and the mode of subsistence of the path is non-mistakenly achieved. The Kongichiwa, the Lam, the Dipa, the Drupa, the Sumba, the Drupa, Drupa, Kongichiwa, the Chichen Sewa Dak. Less so this word achievement is achieving things, achieving certain paths, achieving certain realizations. Yes. Maybe we'll do 2 more questions and then more. We'll maybe have time for more.
In independent origination and dependent origination are recognized through us, through one mind. They come from the same source. Independent origination and dependent origination come from the same, come from the same source.
So the mistaken view of, so independent origination is a mistaken view. That doesn't exist. There's no independent origination. Dependent origination is how everything exists. So are you saying, is the mistaken view and the non-mistaken view come from the same place? Is that the question?
That would be part of the question. And then the state of emptiness is part of independent origination?
No. I think it's just a word usage. Dependent origination is what proves emptiness. There is emptiness because things dependently originate. If they independently originated, they wouldn't be empty. So because of dependent origination, that proves emptiness. So the Rinpoche, the ngatsu lo mambo sem mambo yure, the salo mambo do, the ngatsu the denzin dang the luta dang doni dopi sherap the sem chipa sheba kakar.
Doni dopi sherap deba madruba sheba ludro. Denzin deba druban sheba ludro.
So these are all separate consciousnesses. Like the consciousness that grasps at things incorrectly would be a consciousness, and the consciousness that understands correctly that things are not truly established, understands correctly that they are empty because they dependently originate. These would be different thoughts, if you will. So different origins. It wouldn't be in the same thought. It would be a separate wavelength, separate thought. Does that answer it?
Yes.
Okay. So earlier when you were saying that the different sufferings we have, we don't have control over it, and then you asked what would scientists say about? But I have a sort of a 2-part question regarding that, and the first is doesn't our karma cause that? And in some respect, by our actions and behaviors, are we in a way controlling it because we alter our own karma? That's one question. And the second part is, certain highly realized people or beings, I know that they have long meditative states at their death. So is that in a way controlling your suffering? And that's my question.
So because they can stay longer through meditation, are they controlling suffering?
In a way, yeah. And then the other one does because you create your own karma over,
Okay.
millennial or whatever. Does that, in a way, give you control in a way? Do you know what I mean?
Rinpoche, the point that I just want to make sure I translated it right. The lack of control is when the things will arise, how you will feel, when it will happen. You have all of the things for good and bad, but you don't have the control. The lack of control is I was forced into, for instance, this body that had this kind of parents and the upbringing that I had, and the face that looked like this, and the big nose, and I had that brought about. I didn't have any control over all those details. Now in the past, yes, I created all of the parts, but it's not like one day I created a Jeff and the next day I created a Bob. It's just so many series of things that are randomly coming together. That's the lack of control. I can't control how those parts all come together. So I just want to make sure I translated it properly. When we say forced into these aggregates, it means that we didn't have a choice. Were we a boy or we were a girl? We didn't have that. That's the lack of independence. But let me ask that other question. The Lama Kashi, the Cheka Lama, Khensur Shigamare, Khensur Gomjagadu. Dene the Khensur Rawan dan Drapodu Kongi Tsampa. The Ngatsu the Pumbo Ngapo Ngatsu Rawan Yomare. The Ngama Cheran Trisun. Yene Lama Chenmo Khensur Rawan Yurube Ganginsene Khensur Shigamare. Sansan. So there are those who have more independence because of their realizations. They have more abilities to control certain things, not everything, but they have more abilities to guide. For instance, they want to be born a bodhisattva, and they can make aspirations very strongly and have that happen because of the power of their realization. Then you're in Kong Triwa. The ngatsu lei ngama sason gewa dan megewa. Then the megewa ngatsu dewa dungyao yongore gewa dewa yongore. Then ngatsu rawan dan drapodu gangin sena ngatsu gewa sa dewa yongore. Ngatsu dungyao sa the ngatsu the megewa sa dungyao yongore. Den sunsan ngatsu dets rawa yure in kongi triwa. Ngatsu rawa yurebe.
Gawa droba gawa na magawa garchima so ngatsu rawa res.
So there is, though, in this sense of independence, in that going back to the initial question, that we can choose to create virtue, which will create happiness later. We can choose to create non-virtue, which will create suffering later. So there is some kind of control that we have in our hands right now because we know about actions and their results. So we know that what our behavior is going to give rise to in terms of concordance. So we do have an independence in that sense, but we won't, though, at our ordinary level, be able to control when and where and why and all of those other factors.
Thank you very much.
Maybe one more. Actually, we have to do the concluding prayers. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. I don't want to push it. I always push it. I'm a pusher. All right. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tu Jirim Chikuti Shapi Denalam, Tu Lamrim Chemo Kangar Chiralam, Gorim Papa Kangar Chiralam.